Good morning, Sawyer, Oklahoma. This is the Sub-Exiled Show hosted on HypnoticHub.com, available on other platforms such as iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. This is Zachary Marshall, and with me is Ethan Coleman. Is that correct?
Yes. Good morning, Oklahoma. We are, as you know, we fly out to a new location. I picked the smallest
town in Oklahoma.
We go to a new location.
I went on Google Maps and I was
time.
like, what is the most obscure Oklahoman town I can select? And I zoomed in, and that's where I flew us today.
So, today, not only did we fly out, but we also flew our guest out with crowded coach seats. Brent Funkhouser.
Brent.
Hello.
When Ethan first gave me the idea of having you on the show here, I was in the meantime thinking, what is the craziest guests we can get on at the same time? And in letters I wrote to Sarah Palin, I said, you will star alongside Virginia legend Brent Funkhouser. That is an actual email I sent to Congresswoman Sarah Palin.
I don't doubt that for 1 second.
Is she
I
a
did it.
congresswoman now?
Maybe I can find it in my
now?
sent box and I'll screenshot it.
She's
no
a
reply.
governor.
Last time I checked, she was out like hunting wolves or something, just out in the Alaskan tundra.
Nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
No, we did try sending...
I just took an Alaskan cruise and saw her in the meadows.
We were trying to get Sarah Palin on the show. She didn't answer. And George Zimmerman on the show. We sent an email to both of them.
We keep... Those were the only two people I decided to message. I was like, what crazy celebrity guests could I possibly get on? And for some reason, the only two I think that might had a chance of accepting was Sarah Palin
they're
and
just
George
out
Zimmerman.
of the fame, but still relatively big names that if someone saw, ooh,
right,
a
where it'd be
podcast
like,
with George
wow,
Zimmerman.
you really interviewed Sarah Palin.
I mean, I've heard before that George Zimmerman, he doesn't do any public appearances anymore, and it really seems like he stood his ground on that issue.
I feel like the world's had about enough of George Zimmerman, and even George Zimmerman's self-aware enough to realize
George
that.
Zimmerman has had enough of George Zimmerman, I think.
Does that mean he just killed himself?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to happen.
I mean, he isn't too far
better
off
than-
from that. He's been like beating his girlfriend and buying
Exactly.
new guns,
I like that
so-
he shot an innocent black man and then child, and then afterwards they were like, no, it was a mistake, and then he beats the shit out of his girlfriend, and we're like, okay, we can all admit it wasn't a mistake, right? Like, this guy's an asshole.
Also, even if it was a mistake, if you killed someone like by
You still
accident,
killed somebody.
yeah, you should not be, because he's bought new guns
It's
since then. That was
manslaughter.
like put in the news that he bought more guns after that. It's like, who is letting this guy who
I really
shot
need to arm
someone
myself against these
keep
people.
buying
It's
guns?
like, holy shit, I guess I pissed off a lot of people. I better be protected in case they all try to attack me.
Do you think...
He just loads up more
Do you think
guns.
George Zimmerman is like popular at the gun shops? Like, do you think he walks in like,
Hey, Georgie,
I bet
how you
there's
doing
people
today?
that actually still sympathize with him. I bet there's like
there are a
lot
few
of
gun
old
shop
people that
owners
exist
who
that
are
probably
very
do
proud of
be like,
what
I think he might have known he was
of
doing.
what George Zimmerman has been doing in the murdering
They've been keeping up with
community.
him.
Yeah.
He's got to be on a list though. You can't just give a gun to George Zimmerman. Could you imagine? Imagine if you were just like a normal dude, like you weren't crazy diehard on any particular issue. You just owned a gun shop, like that was what you liked doing, and George Zimmerman walks in and tries to buy a gun. When you're back checking the guy, you have to realize in your head, like, holy shit, I'm really looking to see if I can give George Zimmerman a gun right now, you know?
I don't know, man. Like, he walks in, looks like just a normal guy or something. I don't know anything about him. Can't judge him. I'll sell this dude a
My
gun.
name is
To be fair, I don't know what George
My name is
Zimmerman looks
Jorge
like if I just
Immerman.
saw him. So there's a possibility I could be nice to George Zimmerman for a lengthy amount of time.
I probably knew what he looked
Right,
like.
but I'm
like
saying
4
as a
years
gun
ago.
shop owner,
Yeah,
you have to
I
take
have
their
not
ID
thought about him in a while.
and look into them.
That's true, but I mean, like, right? Well, that's different because ID. But I mean, like, I'm speaking as me. If I saw him on the street, I feel like I wouldn't think, oh wow, that's George Zimmerman walking around in Woodstock, Virginia.
I probably wouldn't, but when I would see a bunch of people spitting at this like Latino-looking man walking down the street for no reason, I'd feel like I'd be like, "Why is that?" And then I'd think about it in my head and go, "Maybe he's George Zimmerman."
If I saw that, I'd just think it was Gabriel Iglesias or something.
Am I the only one that isn't like hilariously entertained by Gabriel Iglesias? I probably
I am
shouldn't be
not
commenting on what
entertained
comedians
by
I don't
Gabriel
find funny,
Iglesias.
but like, is this not the best?
Nah,
for me?
that's why I think people would be spitting at him. I think no one is actually entertained by that.
They would rather see George Zimmerman than Gabriel.
Everyone I know.
Iglesias. Well, we've got good news, folks.
We got Gabriel Iglesias and George Zimmerman on today.
All right. So this show is a little different. Because we
think
actually have someone.
That's what my mom's been saying about me my whole life. Now I have a show, and people can't stop saying it about that either. They just keep saying it's a little different.
So today we have a guest that actually does something. So
someone who actually has
new
talent.
Territory.
I know you're all.
Who's that?
We're broadening our horizons.
I haven't been
to
on
people
any
who are
episodes
actually
so far,
good.
but I'm one of the hosts.
Oh shoot! I'll have you as a guest on this show sometime later.
You'll have special guest appearance Ethan Coleman in a song where he just comes out and does like a podcast for 20 minutes.
But it's
and then
clear
it just
that
cuts
I'm
back to the
lost
song.
and I stumbled into a recording studio and for some reason nobody caught me.
It's groundbreaking territory. It's like when Fleetwood Mac brought in that
Pitchfork
whole
called it
orchestra and
truly
stuff.
experimental.
It's like we just bring in one guy to do a podcast.
It's like
in the
when
middle of a
Dave
song.
Chappelle broke up Kendrick Lamar's Grammy
Oh, the
performance.
Grammys?
Like that's what it's like.
We need to
except
save
significantly
talk.
worse.
We
Wait,
need to
did that
save
happen?
talk about the Grammys, motherfucker.
Well, okay, real
I
quick.
didn't watch
Kendrick
the-
had a Grammy performance and
Yeah.
it was really good, but in the middle of it, for some reason, Dave Chappelle just started talking. Like it wasn't like he Kanye West Kendrick. They had
thought it was-
planned.
It was planned.
Right. It was just
Right,
It
and
was
you know,
really
I saw
weird.
that too, and I saw Dave Chappelle come out, and I was like, oh, they're gonna do a funny joke with Dave Chappelle, and the joke was, hey, it's Dave Chappelle back to
Exactly.
Kendrick Lamar, and you're never gonna hear anything about it again. It was like, it was really confusing. I thought they were gonna go somewhere with it.
So I guess to start, we're going to start the show a little bit differently. We're going to talk to Brent with some interview questions.
Differently, this is the new show,
This is
motherfucker.
it.
Yeah, that's right. We're interviews. We're fucking NPR now. Brent,
we are better than NPR.
This is on
has
NRP?
been, will be, or ever will be.
Brent, how would you describe the genre of your music for people who are uninitiated with you?
Slow, sad bastard jams. Now, people would probably categorize it as Americana music or folk. I write some like kind of rocky or more country-leaning stuff also, but yeah, probably like Americana or folk would be the best label.
Now, Brent, when you say Americana, that sounds about as patriotic as music gets.
Oh yeah, I'm a big patriot, don't you know that? I have donated $400,000 to USO this year. I haven't made any record sales, but I did that.
You should do a USO show. They should ship you off to Iraq and let you play for a few cripples.
See, they did that already, and I just got stuck in the middle of like ISIS-held territory. It was pretty bad.
Just about to ask, if you could perform for ISIS, would you?
Well,
Virginia country music legend Brent Funkhouser, would you perform in front of ISIS? That is the current question on the table.
well, how much are they paying me?
ISIS?
ISIS has money. They bought all these
It's a lot
Toyotas.
of. It's a lot. Brent,
much does a
Brent,
sand
they're
dollar
paying you
go
in a
for?
lot of money. They're paying you in a lot of money, Brent, but you cannot recognize a single face on the bills they're paying you with.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
On the $1 bill, they
I'm
have
broke.
George I need a Washington. Because
Shut the fuck up. We just clipped that mic like a motherfucker.
Damn. When you look at the picture of this show, it's very abrasive. It's a very abrasive side of humor. But then you cut to your music, and it's just like, I mean, I don't want to generalize here. It's small personal story. It's more contemporary than that. And I listened to the two songs you sent over, and people will listen to it here in just a moment. But then I decided to listen to your other songs, and some of it's sad. And I just got to thinking, who hurt Brent? Brent, who hurt you? Who is this person in your life to cause you all of this pain?
Oh, Ethan.
Oh yeah.
The whole album is about him.
So all of
once
all
the
of
EP
the breakup
turns to an
songs,
LP,
all of that is all to do with
Yeah.
Ethan.
Oh, well, he actually caused the breakups. He was
Well, okay,
secretly
we don't need to-
conspiring against me.
don't need to label.
Talking to he was
did
having
what?
yeah, I mean he was having sex with like 15 different people, at the same time, and I was one of them.
Ethan, I can understand maybe like 11, right? Like you have 10 fingers and
they're all
then
deep in somebody.
one Big Johnson. But how did you manage the extra
the
4?
toes, duh.
Yeah, well, my shoes are a big play into that. I have toe shoes that allow easy access.
You know, I'm not sure if we've talked about this before. You only wear toe shoes. You autistic motherfucker.
I'm what they call a freak. So, yeah.
He's a frog boy.
Frog kid?
Well, I'm currently wearing my tan toe shoes, and I'm wearing a pair of khaki pants, so it looks like I have roots.
Dear Lord.
Ethan's the type of person to like go each day to school in like a full piece suit and then toe shoes and floaties.
Oh no, I've actually seen that.
That's who he is.
No, I dressed up as a Mormon once. That was my Halloween costume. So
you were
it basically,
shoes.
what it was. Well, it was business Ethan whenever teachers came around, so that way I wouldn't get in trouble for making fun of a religion. But it was basically just.
I got in trouble for wearing glasses in school. I legit got prescribed to wear glasses. I didn't wear them that often, but the first time I wore them, my teacher told me to take them off, and I was like, no, here's a doctor's note. I actually wear these now. And she said, well, you either got to wear them every day for the rest of your life, or you need to take them off right now because you're making fun of disabled people. And I was like, what the
West
fuck?
Virginia
I need these
had
to
very
see
shitty
sometimes.
teachers.
Like, I was just tired.
I don't doubt that for 1 second.
I remember when I got glasses in 3rd grade, I had to I had the sunglasses that you clipped onto the glasses, and I remember thinking they were cool, so I wore them in class, and I got in trouble.
I remember you had those glasses that would auto-change to black.
Yeah, those,
you know?
I looked retarded in every room that I walked into because they took so long to change back.
They thought you were blind, too.
But they weren't quite dark enough. They were just like, it was just slightly darker, so it didn't do anything in the sun, and I just looked dumb walking into buildings.
So what's changed?
I looked dumb walking into buildings, and I didn't even need glasses.
I got bigger glasses. I went all
okay.
in.
Brent, rapid fire question. Were you bullied in middle school?
Was I what?
Bullied in middle school.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, way hard, man. I got shoved in so many lockers, man. That's a real thing. You think that's just a thing in the 80s movies? Nah, man. They got a special locker at my middle school just to shove me into.
Now, is it
Ethan,
true that you went to school in an 80s movie?
I did go to school in an 80s movie. Specifically, it was The Breakfast Club. Crossover with Say Anything, though.
I got bullied by, I think, middle schoolers yesterday. I was working, and I went to the bathroom, and when I coach a swim team, and whenever, and at the same time, they have a wrestling team in the gym next to us. So I was going to the bathroom, and a bunch of kids were at the water fountain. One of the kids looks at me, points, and yells, "You're tall," and they all laughed at me, and I was so confused. So I just
You like looked up and down your body, and you're like, "Kids, how bad is it?"
That's the thing that people are making fun of
I
now?
don't know, but they laughed. That was the part that I was confused about. He's
when I
clearly
was-
the ringleader,
when I was-
and whatever says goes.
When I was growing up, I was always like the tallest kid in my class, and every time some motherfucker tried to start anything with me, you know what I mean? Like I could always at least take it as a small kid because I was just bigger, and it was the short kids that got made fun of. Is it switched around now? I can't imagine being in school now. Everyone's like 3 feet tall and is yelling at me like, hey, like calling me names and are attempting to like pick me up and put me in lockers and stuff.
Well, that was like, it was just really weird. And then I went to the bathroom, and I was at the urinal, and this kid walked up behind me and wouldn't stop asking what I was doing. And I was like, using the bathroom.
My taxes.
It's grown-up stuff. You wouldn't get it.
You're just standing at the urinal jacking off.
In fact, get in front of me.
Now, I work at Target. And the other night we had like these 4 middle schoolers who were just walking around.
You can't blow our cover. You're famous musician.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am not Target employee Chance
Robertson. I didn't get you on this show as Target employee Brent Funkhouser.
We can't sell that. No one wants us to interview someone from Target.
You're right. But no, there were these like middle schoolers, like these 4 middle schoolers just walking around and causing trouble. And yes, middle schoolers can apparently cause trouble. I heard them So, like, I was working on some stuff, like, in men's clothing or whatever, just hanging shit back up. And they walk into this aisle that's nearby that has, like, breastfeeding stuff in and I just hear one of them go, "Ew, breast pumps!" And the other one go, "Yeah, that's so gross!" And they just kept walking. I was like,
they
what
high
the
five
fuck?
and leave.
Could you imagine like a fetish group like going for breast pump runs? You know, where they like go out to the store and get a 6-pack of them and bring it back to the
I've
boys.
lived that.
Brent Funkhouser. So you recently bought a pair of turntables for your apartment, and you have given yourself...
pair? Wait, what?
I saw it in the
Two things of
tabloids. I was
turntables.
reading. I was reading Today magazine, and I saw this at Brent Funkhouser got turntables for his
I was
apartment.
very mad about that feature. They did not get the essence of me whatsoever.
But you are now...
They made it seem like I was a greedy man.
They made it seem like I was famous.
You are a DJ, and you have self-proclaimed title that you are better than Dr. Dre ever
Yes,
was. Can you comment on that?
Yes, I think that some people took that the wrong way. I don't mean just musically. I just mean every way possible as a person. Just the way I look. Yeah, I think that everything about me is probably better than him.
They didn't capture my 6'5", 180-pound ripped body.
That would be
that was not
very
featured
light for
anywhere
Yeah, that's
in,
like-
the, in the feature.
That would be super skinny.
They didn't really get this lean muscle.
Shut up,
that
I don't work out.
Dr. Dre looks malnourished.
compared to me, at least.
So Brent, we're gonna get serious now. Would you like to get serious with us?
Oh yeah, let's get serious.
So, this is real professional of me. Don't read these. I don't want you to have an
sorry, I'm
answer ready. So, I think possibly the first song we're going to play is "I Think That's What You Said."
okay.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about that song?
Yeah, that one's the way that one came to be, like I was writing some stuff back in November. I think, yeah, it was November. I was let's see. It was one of those things where like it started something completely different. Like I started writing these lyrics and what the original lyrics
It was an adult film.
it did actually start as a porno. You can actually find all my albums on Pornhub. True story, I upload them all. Nah.
Are they
But,
doing better there? or-
and so take us through the creative
Okay.
process from hardcore double anal bang to gangbang to country song or how folk rock song.
Well, it started something completely different where I had written these lyrics, and the original lyrics was supposed to be like, it was like someone writing a letter to them, like from far away, breaking up with them, and I didn't like the way it was flowing, but I'd written this like little guitar part for it, and which is the thing that you kind of hear in the introduction, the like I wrote that part, and I was like, well, I want to see what I can play with that, and I really like that melody, so I just kind of started singing whatever came to mind, and it ended up as the final song, which is completely fictitious in the first place. But yeah, it pretty much the whole song is supposed to be like just this guy's wondering about his girlfriend who left him and like where she is now.
And I was gonna ask, as far as the instrumentation goes, because I noticed with that song, which the other song you sent is "You Got Lucky," which is mainly, I believe, from what I could tell, is just guitar and then you singing.
I meant to send you Things Are Looking Up.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's the song we got. So.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Deal with
I
it.
can talk
Deal with
about
it,
my
dude.
love of Tom Petty after that.
So actually, that was the song I assumed you were gonna.
How
sing.
was the dressing room, by the way? I know we're treating you. The flight was coached. It was crowded. We didn't get the right song. We decided to pick our own. How is at least the dressing room?
Well, I was very confused by it because upon going in there, your people told me that I had to change my clothes, and you all only gave.
It's a requirement.
Yeah, and y'all gave me a pair of Daisy Dukes and like a mesh tank top, and I'm very uncomfortable with the way Ethan's looking at me now.
We said flamboyantly, he's wearing what? We need to fix this, and then he looks a lot better now.
It would be better if y'all just hadn't put the grease in my hair. That was the worst part
We
of it
have
all.
a really weird look going on right now because the Daisy Dukes and greaser look surprisingly don't go together.
We tried to market him as a farm boy Elvis Presley.
Mixed a little bit with, like, Michael Jackson or something.
I don't know. Sure.
Wait, you don't remember all those famous...
Blackface
Yes.
Brent. That's your new name.
You don't remember all those famous times from the 80s when... Nah, fuck it, never mind.
So the instrumentation, at least in that song, seems a little bit more present, I guess. Like so in You Got Lucky, you have the guitar, and in this, it seems like you have, I don't know instruments, but drums and other things in the background. Is that you doing all that, or do you actually have a band? Because I know you do have a band, like when you tour and stuff. But is that in the recording process? Is that just you, or do you actually have people do it?
In that particular case, yeah, that was just me. I did all the clap stuff. I play like 8 instruments, I think. And yeah, I always... Essentially, when I record, I do everything except when I need a drummer or some sort of instrument that I just don't know how to play. Like, I love to record violin for some stuff, but I don't know how to play it, so I've had to bring in like a violinist before.
You should look into the electric violin. How do you feel about being? Because I feel like a lot of artists these days are moving more digitally. You understand?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You see, how do you feel about the younger crowd slowly becoming more and more involved with instrumentation and traditional forms of music?
When you say like digital, do you mean like the digital streaming platforms, or more like music created digitally?
No, I don't give a shit. I pirate everything. Jesus Christ, if everyone was releasing stuff at like live shows and like cassette tapes, I wouldn't be listening to music.
Yeah. Okay, so like you're talking about like digitally created music, like pretty much making beats on your computer.
Right,
and stuff.
like have you ever considered to add like an 808 bass to one of your songs?
I've never considered that for myself, but I don't have any problem with that. I like a lot of different types of music. No, I don't have any problem with the direction that music is going. Now, I think it would be good for people to try and like keep up and learn how to play different instruments. Learning how to play an instrument has like...
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Kendrick Lamar? Brent just told you.
He said, "Suck my dick."
Brent just told you
Kenny.
maybe you can learn up a little bit.
No, I respect the hell out of Kendrick just because, especially with like To Pimp a Butterfly and the Untitled Unmastered stuff, there was a lot of real instrumentation on that. Like pretty much all the horns, all the saxophone parts and stuff, like a lot of the drums on that were real too.
What's nice when you can tell, like I
Yeah.
feel like in hip hop, I know Dr. Dre, all his beats are, still sampled and played over, but he had an interview or something where he's like, we have real instruments, so why not play real instruments? So I do think that when he adds his own parts, he does actually have the instruments present in the studio. So I feel like it sounds nicer than having a machine replicated.
And you've seen the Defiant ones, right?
I've seen 2 episodes of it.
Okay, I think it's on the last episode, there's some footage like that's inside his home studio and he's recording. And yeah, someone is playing like drums that he's going to use in his recordings. I forget what song that was, but yeah. No, a lot of people still do use real instruments, like bigger names that can afford to do that. But as far as people making recordings on their own, it is definitely a lot more economical to use samples now. And people who are just like doing bedroom producing and stuff, yeah, obviously go for whatever you can use to make your music.
I don't know why we're getting on Dr. Dre, because we've already established that you're better than him.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Little pump X Brent.
So in the song at one point, I don't know why, but I really was interested. You rhymed the words schism and altruism. Did you think of the word
that was very
schism
prominent
and
too.
then thought, I need to make a rhyme for this now, or did you actually have those two things in mind? Because
altruism I had in mind.
That seems like
Okay.
an idea that you would have a rhyme first.
it seems like odd words to jump to and go, ooh, I need to
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
miss them.
I think I had heard the word altruism earlier in the day, and that just, like, made me think of it. I was like, because altruism is, like, pretty much mutually coming to terms with something, like two different parties, like, forgiving each other. And I was like, okay, well, I needed something to rhyme that with. A schism, like, causing a problem.
Yeah. I googled altruism when I heard it because I was like, I don't know if this is used properly, so I guess I can't actually. Like, I was like, I don't know what this word means.
We're gonna take him to grammar school. You know, that's what we should have done. We should have went to like to look up the lyrics, and we should have like corrected every single grammar
You
mistake.
ever been in an English roast before, Brent?
English roast? I'm actually an English
Not the way you're thinking of.
I'm actually an English major in school, and sometimes I kick myself because, like, I think it was like 2 days ago I was texting someone, and I spelled common COMMEN, and I was just like, that is literally one of the most common words, like, used in the English language, and I just spelled that wrong.
You mean common?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I have strokes too, Brent.
Have you ever had Jeff Ross come up to you and just roast the shit out of you for the way you spell things?
He's followed me around, man.
Let me ask you this.
He does that. He doesn't have a lot going on.
Brent, what is the direct object of this verse? And what is the subject and predicate?
I know what a verb is, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. You're an English major and you don't know what subject and predicate
His degree is to read books that he's
mean?
not going to read. That's what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my god. You know, it's really weird.
Wait, so you're telling me when you get into college, they don't give you vocabulary lists in English class anymore?
You know, like the grammar education we get as elementary schoolers, they don't really care that much about that as long, like, they don't really care if you know what, like, a subject and predicate are as an English major, as long as you know how to write properly.
Ours focused a lot on commas, or at least my writing class did, from what I remember.
Like if I was always told if you need to take a breath, that's where you put a comma, and usually that's very good advice. But sometimes I get tired, and I just
sometimes
need
I'm
to
running
put
and
it
then I
down
need to
somewhere.
talk to somebody.
Sometimes I put like 4 commas in a row because I'm catching my breath.
Sometimes I have conversations at the gym and it's just littered with punctuation.
I'm just looking at people going comma, 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 comma.
What my English teachers don't understand about me is that when you get me going, I can't shut the fuck up. All of my jobs depend on me just rambling on. My actual real job is me talking to people in a way that's not going to piss them off. I do this show and I do stand-up comedy. I just ramble on. My whole life is one big run-on sentence. You can't just keep throwing commas at me like it's supposed to make sense.
I can't dispute that just based on the length of that last sentence. Like, yeah.
Brent, if you were to put a comma anywhere in that sentence...
Well, if I had to put a comma
Sorry, that joke is too funny for me to
anywhere,
finish it.
I'd probably put it there.
Ethan, how does it feel to actually be speaking to someone who can perform real improv comedy?
As opposed to what? Us
Who
and
else is
Ty?
here?
As opposed to Ty.
As opposed to Ty, it's refreshing.
Oh boy. So, I mean, did you have additional questions?
Yeah, I got a
here?
few more.
Okay.
So you play a lot of shows, just kind of locally at
Believe it or
restaurants. Yeah, I don't, but you've told me you have.
I invite them. I invite you to them.
I've showed up to like 2.
Yeah. You've actually done a lot better than a lot of people have.
I'm
Josiah.
one of the. Josiah. That's, you got to give.
Yeah,
up on
that'll
that.
never happen.
You,
That'll never happen.
But yeah, Alfie and I are the nicest friends that you have.
You're right. Like, actually, you're probably right about that.
But I know, I believe it was 2 years ago, or coming up on 2 years now, you went on tour.
Not even a year.
Oh, was it this summer?
Yeah, it was last
I
summer.
thought it was when we went to the beach. Okay.
Nah.
Okay, so then last summer you went on tour for a bit. What is it like as someone who's a smaller musician going on tour, what is that like?
It had its ups and downs. First off, first leg of the tour, we really did not make any money. I was broke by the time we got home. But it was interesting. We went to Asheville, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Johnson City, Tennessee. The gig in Asheville was awesome. We got invited back. There were a lot of people there. It was in a club called The Social. And that was a fun night. And so I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to the rest of this. Then we go to Charlotte. And
Did you ever get wrapped up in the thralls of fame? Did you ever trash a hotel room and just sat on the floor strung out on coke in the hotel hallway, just waiting for your drummer to pick you up and drag you back to the tour bus?
Nah, but I did make some questionable decisions at some points.
Please tell them on air.
I will, yes.
Please, if you could just tell me every illegal thing a bandmate did on the entire
With
trip,
the full
I
name.
will very politely write them down for you and deliver them to my local police department.
Oh, thank you. They keep records there, right? Like, just keep track of things going on? Okay.
Right. So if you're ever touring, you have to just avoid Arizona.
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, yeah, one night... Okay, it was the night we were in Johnson City, which was, first off, that was a really weird gig. The venue we were at, half those people were high on something. I don't know what. It was... I'm sorry, I'm going to trash talk it.
Your music.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
People are strung out
Yes, dude.
Could you imagine this, Brent? You're doing a concert for 500,000 people, and by the end of it, they all OD'd.
I'm pretty sure that was Charles Manson's musical career goal, honestly.
It's not bad. You expect a psychopath, maniac, serial killer like Charles Manson to create some funny, like some really crazy music. You listen to it and you go, I'd listen to it a couple times, you know?
Once or twice.
Like, if I was a Sony executive, I maybe would not have paid for it like the other ones, but it's kind of interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
How's it feel to be worse than Charles Manson?
Brent,
I've been called that several times.
You guys were really late to the recording, and I was listening to Brent's music. I was like, I need to study up, and then I got bored and started listening to Biggie Smalls. I was like, I can't keep it's great, but I love the dude, but I want to get hypnotized, you know?
Fair enough, man. Hey, there are worse things you could be listening to.
Like Charles Manson.
Yeah,
yes,
like Charles Manson.
That's one of them.
I was gonna go with like
I
Luke
feel a
Bryan
lot
or
of
something, but
judgment
yeah,
on the
Charles
room.
Charles Manson might be the worst.
I don't know, man. Like Luke Bryan, Charles Manson. One wears skinny
One
jeans.
will kill
the
me,
other-
one makes me want to kill myself.
Which is worse is the real question.
If Charles Manson wasn't dead or in prison, I would send him a message too, trying to get him on here.
He's still both of those things. Like, they kept his corpse in the cell. It's like a museum exhibit. You know, like in the Kremlin in Russia, they still have Lenin's body.
Is it still an active museum? Because he only died last year. Oh, I thought he only died like last year.
Yeah, they shut down the whole like prison, like that whole cell block, man. Like you can just go in and it's a museum. It's the Charles Manson Memorial
I was about to say it'd be
Museum.
pretty weird. It'd be pretty weird if it was just like an active prison and then just the one cell was a museum exhibit. You had to like get cleared through max security prison to see this one small Charles Manson thing.
All right, so this is where his toilet is still. This is where he slept. This is where he just sat a lot of time and just looked at the wall.
This is the only newspaper he was ever allowed to read. He loved Garfield. Garfield was a big hit with Charles Manson.
So Brent, we're about to go to a break, but I have two more questions before we go said break.
Yes.
So I want to talk about the song "You Got Lucky" because that's the song that you definitely intended to send to us.
Of course.
So I like that song because, at least from what I can tell, it's a very sad sounding song, and I don't know if it's you or the singer, but it's a very lashing out song almost, but I don't know if I necessarily am supposed to listen to it.
I don't think those are the songs you sent me, Ethan. I think you sent me Things Are Looking Up, and I think that's what you
So
said
maybe
was the text
I'm
message
confused.
I got last night.
Maybe I'm wrong. Never mind.
You know, because I was going along with it too, and then you actually mentioned the name of the songs, and before I even said anything, I was like, well, I'm not sure if that's true. I'm gonna go check.
The nice thing is, due to me seeing you live before, I actually know what Things Are Looking Up sounds like.
Yeah.
So, scratch what the fuck I just said.
let me just address
Guys.
that really quick. Like, you got lucky as a Tom Petty cover. Tom Petty was like a big. I'm a huge Tom Petty fan, and I chose that song specifically. I was kind of sending that as a message to someone.
I am
the
a
choice of cover.
slight Tom Petty fan, and I did
If
not
you
know
if you could replace your
that was a
actual
cover.
dad in real life with Tom Petty, would you?
That depends. Which one? Which
Hey.
dad of mine am I replacing? All right, there we go. That
I
one.
wanted to see how long we could have some time.
All right, so what?
So
on.
Things Are Looking Up. Just talk about that song real quick, and then we'll transition to play some of the songs for you, so you can get a little taste. But tell me about Things Are Looking Up.
Okay, so a lot of my songs are like, oh, I'm going to shut that up real quick. A lot of my songs,
You fucking better.
a lot of my songs are kind of like, I don't know. I read a lot of stuff that is kind of sadder sounding, and that gets boring really fast. And so even if there are sad lyrics, I try and make a happy sounding melody. And you know, Things Are Looking Up. The title alone implies that's gonna be a happier
Right.
song.
That was a really weird transition in your career. I remember there being songs about the concentration camps in Nazi Germany, but it was like put to a major key.
I was just remembering those good times, man. You know, those were the days.
Saying that like you're reminiscing
Back
for
in
the
Dachau.
No, I'm just saying those were
Those
how
were the
those days
days.
were. Those were literally those days. No, holy shit. But shit. What was I saying? Yeah. So that song actually is like a little bit of You ever have someone do something that kind of pisses you off, and you're more or less like, all right, screw you.
Once
I'll
a
be
week.
fine." Yes.
Never actually.
It's usually it's probably usually when you're
Explain to me
recording
what
this
being
show
mad
with
is.
Ethan.
Yes, absolutely.
But
It's every time I almost go to McDonald's before I come back here, get set up and get a text message saying that he's going out eating.
you're like, damn it, why didn't you invite me?
I
I'm
hadn't
like, well,
eaten
the
anything, and
nearest one now
Chick-fil-A
is
was
like 10
surprisingly
minutes
not
away.
busy.
I'm just mad, man. I would have gotten dinner with you or something, sir.
You would have gone to lunch with me. Excuse.
Oh,
It's a
my
very early
apologies.
dinner.
My apologies. But that song's one of those things where it was kind of like I was just like a little bit irked about something. I was just like, screw you, I'll be fine. And that's like the whole thing. It's like pretty much it was like just about
It's
getting out.
empowering yourself
Yeah,
and
exactly.
your listeners.
It was like getting out of. I had just gotten like, I don't know, I was seeing this girl for a little bit, and things had just kind of broken off, and I was like a little bit irked by it, but I was like, yeah, whatever. It happened. I'll be cool.
Did you link her?
Did I?
Did you link her to the song? When you
Oh
released
no,
it?
no, I did not do that.
I've always thought about
actually
that because I
did
always have those. I always have
I
those.
am Charles Manson.
I'm better than he ever was.
I am like a better, more sane Charles Manson.
Now the weird thing I did was I didn't link her to the song, but I did give her dad a copy of the CD.
I autographed it for him. I wrote "fuck you" from Brent Funkhouser. Right, I've always thought about though, because I've had those daydreams where it'd be like, man, what if I was like a musician?
Me too.
You know, like we all have that where you just daydream off and you're just like, what if I was like famous like that? And I'm thinking about it. You know, I write like a crazy "fuck you" song to someone in my life, and then I the very next thought is just how do they find out about it? Do they just stumble across it one day, or do I just send it to them right after I release this? You know what I mean? Like, how does that person in my life find out that I just spent like $100,000 of recording equipment and
Like I
studio
did.
time dedicated to saying "fuck you" to you?
Yeah, I don't really know how. I never like send the songs to the people. There was a thing. One of my favorite singers, Jason Isbell, he said something along the lines of, he used to write songs when he was younger about like the stories that people in his family would tell him, like. They'd take him to the side and be like, hey, I'm going to tell you this, but you can't ever repeat this to anyone. He said that he took those stories, turned them into songs, and then about 5 years later, he figured out that he should have changed the names in them. And
Oops.
so I never, like... There are a lot of times where like there'll be recurring names in some of the songs I have, and those recurring names are supposed to be like representative of a person. Of a specific person I'm trying to address, but I try to keep it as like not obvious as possible. And there's even a there's even a
Do you?
oh there's even
I'm sorry. Continue.
yeah I was gonna say there's even a line in Things Are Looking Up that's what is it? It's so I write some things down to make them right somehow, but the subject seems bound to know. Like pretty much I was just saying like. Probably whoever's hearing that, if she hears this song, she's gonna understand it.
Do you ever have like a topic where you begin writing on something and then you like think that it's kind of like taboo in a sense? Because like obviously in comedy you get to a point where it's like, no, that joke would be too offensive, and obviously you wouldn't be writing offensive music in the first place, right? Like you would never be making a song about like cutting a child's head off or something like that.
Well, when he performs for
But, like,
ISIS, maybe.
But like, yeah, maybe there'll be some
As
original
long as it
tune
fits in with
dedicated to
Sharia law.
decapitation. But do you ever start like writing something down and then just think like, I can't do this? You know what I mean? Like it's either too personal or you just get to for whatever reason it's just like an idea that you just decide like I would like it to be out there, but I just don't think I can do it right now. You know?
Yes, I have done that. Like a lot of times things like sometimes I'll decide a song's too personal and I don't really want to put it out, at least immediately. Like I might have plans to release in the future, but like just be like, yeah, I'm gonna hold off a little while on that, just keep it on the back burner.
I want to see how I feel about this with some time versus just releasing something through my emotions that I may have second thoughts about in the future.
Yeah, it's kind of that, and also just like, don't do it while the wound is still fresh, because it might just be a knee-jerk reaction. Or yeah. And sometimes, like, one of the things I'm doing right now, a lot of my writing is getting a little bit more political minded than it is just like personal stuff. And I haven't released any.
You're thinking about the big issues.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you have any songs?
You know there's a war going on?
Speaker
There
of the
is?
House. Two wars.
Do you guys know there's a war going on? I don't know. Is any of this war happening on American soil?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever thought about going at Speaker of the House Paul Ryan in your political songs, and specifically him?
No, but I have thought about actually tackling him. I feel like that would be pretty fun.
Have you thought about making a song? Have you thought about making a song where you list all of the representatives for your state and then add their address, phone number, and social security number?
I might
Have
actually.
you ever thought about making a song like that?
You ever made a song that also follows that with instructions on how to make a bomb?
I was gonna say, like, I have done that, but with instructions on how to, like, chemically prepare arson.
Okay.
Or what is it? Fuck. Never mind. Just poison.
The next song is called Anarchist Cookbook by Brent Funkhouser. Brent, do you ever tell people to go funk themselves?
No, I have not actually
thought
done
about
that.
making an album like that. When you get into your bad boy phase, do you think
Oh
you
yeah,
could make...
definitely.
There's gonna be an album cover with you in like black tight pants and a leather jacket with your hair slicked back and
arms crossed,
sunglasses.
and he's like not facing the camera, but he's like turned to the side a bit.
Right, and he's like holding the insides of his jacket with his thumbs out, like, hey.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately, actually. In fact,
And
I'm in the
you're
process of
smoking
recording it
meth.
as we're talking. Yes, on the cover, I am smoking meth.
It's cool.
So I think that is that's all the questions I have. Chemical, do you have any more?
No, I pretty much exhausted this because we've been trying to do this for a while, and I suppose it's my fault for not planning in my head. But when I got the message that we were actually doing it just yesterday, I was like, oh, cool. Let me think of a few things, and I wrote down like a couple jokes. The only thing I didn't get to was like a stupid fucking saying that. No, I just have my topic. The answer is no. Let's continue before I embarrass myself.
So, we're going to take a break, and we are going to play Things Are Looking Up from Brent Funkhouser.
Oh, my darling, I don't need no second chance. Once in a while I'll forget how to smile, and I let the tears rain down in torrents. Despite the things that make me black and blue, I'll never apologize for loving you. I'll raise a mercy plea. Things are looking up for me. Don't forget it, 'cause memory can come and go. So I write some things down to make them right somehow, but the subject seems bound to know. And I realize now that I often pretend, but all good things must come to an end. Still I won't ever take a knee. Things are looking up for me. Every mountain top and valley I once peered over with you don't seem to do too much to me. Discovered how they aren't so bad when I lost all thought I had. The climb would be worth the view. Things are looking up for me. Now things are looking up for me. Things are looking up for me. Things are looking up for me. Oh, for me. Things are looking up for me.
Amazing song, ladies and gentlemen. Ethan, what were you? What were your thoughts on the song?
Well, like I said, I've heard Brent perform before, and I've heard his songs, but it sounds even better with studio quality. So, unfortunately, out of nowhere, Brent said, "I need to leave," looked worried, and then ran out the room. So I guess it's just gonna be you and me now.
We tried to stop him. He claimed that he was trying to get someone to cover. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm willing to continue here. We only had topics anyways, so
yeah. So we'll just do the normal show, that we would do, which is you and I doing topics, and somebody's knocking on our door, which is odd.
Hey.
Excuse me.
Hey.
Hi, how are you? Can I help you?
Yeah, Brent sent me in here.
Oh, Brent sent you?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
can
do
I
realize
ask,
that
why?
this is a gated community.
Never stopped me before.
I know, I can see that.
I've been arrested a couple times, but nah, man. Gates don't mean nothing.
What is your name, sir?
Oh, I'm Wheatley Fields. I'm Nashville's biggest
Has anyone
star.
ever told you that you and Brent look and sound very similar?
Well, you know what? Brent's actually my manager. That's how we met, because we look pretty similar, and so people
That's
Oh,
usually what they do
right.
with managers, is they find
Yeah.
someone who looks like them and
I'm
says,
comfortable
hey,
with
manage.
that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know
you
how
go
people
to-
sing into the mirror to practice? I'll just look at him when I play my song. So
And
I
he
can get used
shadows
to it.
you?
Yeah, exactly.
You went to like a
And
you,
I just-
you both
Yes.
won like first and second place at a Jimmy Buffett lookalike contest.
Oh, well, Jimmy Buffett's one of my biggest heroes, next to Del Suggs.
Who?
Del Suggs. Do you not know Del Suggs?
No, I don't.
He wrote the 1988 smash hit Magic Chair, single-handedly creating, destroying, and recreating the beach country genre. He's got a mustache of a god.
Ethan, what information do you know about the beach country genre?
As of now, nothing. I guess I know 100% more than I did before, because I know who
Del Suggs is
Del
important.
Suggs is. Yeah, he's apparently a legend and an icon in the.
Magic Chair, man, best song ever written.
If there's one thing I need to know about Del Suggs, what would I need to know?
What the fuck did I just say? I said Magic Chair. Best goddamn song ever written.
Okay. But besides knowing that one song, if I was gonna meet Del Suggs tomorrow, what information would you give me regarding Del Suggs?
I'd say treat him with respect, but don't look him in the eye.
So Wheatley,
Yeah.
you said that Brent sent you in here. Is there a reason as to why he did that? Because he said he needed to leave.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm
you have
covering
these-
for him.
Oh, you're.
He's out going on his McDonald's run, and I'm here covering for him.
Oh, so you're gonna be a temporary guest until he comes back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we have
Man,
to
everyone's
do.
getting food except for me.
I guess we have to do the show with you as our guest. So
All right.
A show, anyways.
yeah. I guess.
Is this
I
Howard
guess
Stern?
we have to. It's legally binding.
No,
When
it is
someone
not
walks
Howard
into the
Stern.
room, we have to do a show with you.
All right.
I don't believe Howard Stern. Is
What are you?
located
Are you a
in
big
Oklahoma.
Howard Stern fan? What is your name?
Stern
What is your
can
name,
be
by the way? I'm
wherever
not
he
sure if I
wants to
caught
be.
that.
It's Wheatley Fields.
Wheatley Fields. I'm Nashville's
Wheatley
biggest
Fields.
star.
Okay. Oh really? Maybe it's because I haven't been to
yes,
Nashville in a long time, but why? I feel
Yeah,
like
how
I
do you
haven't
do in
heard
the
of
rest of the
Nashville's Biggest
world?
Star.
I only live in Nashville.
It's not the question.
Well, I tried moving. I tried going to North Carolina, to the Outer Banks, to live there and make my music there. Didn't work. Nashville's fine. North Carolina, a lot of bad stuff happened to me there.
Well, that's really interesting, Wheatley. Let me explain real quick what this show is, so you can get caught up on it. Basically, well, that was the interview that we did with Brent, so we're past that. What we do is we have a series of topics that people bring in, and then we spin a wheel, and then we talk about said topics on the wheel.
Got it.
So
A wagon wheel.
It's a very ingenious business model, nothing like it's been attempted before. It was slightly inspired by the Australian game show Wheel of Fortune, where little-known Australian comedian Pat Sajak would spin a wheel,
Never
or
heard
would
of
make
him.
people spin the wheel, rather. And they win money based upon which letters they guess. We took said idea and brought it into the topic format. We spent a lot of money on the wheel, and no one's ever done anything like it before.
Never heard of anything like it.
all right.
So it might be a little surprising for you. It might be a little bit of a shock. You might not be ready for when the wheel spins.
When the wheel spins, it may spook you. I'm just giving you full warning that.
I'm not
We
easily
didn't
spooked.
talk about this, but since we upgraded the wheel to the DPRK 3000 model,
Is that
Which
wait DPRK? Is that
yeah,
like is that like
we
North
got
Korean?
it from North Korea.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it. We got it from North Korea.
Oh.
It's a DPRK
Those
model.
commies.
Ever since we got it, we upgraded it. It came with a wheel upgrade. I forgot to mention this. We've just been trying to hold it under, but it's too painful. We have to talk about it. Every time we spin the new wheel, it sends 500 volts of electricity into the whole room, into our chairs. So it might shock you.
Been through worse.
Oh, really? Like what?
I don't know. Have you ever been in a room with Luke Bryan before?
We actually talked
Cannot
about
say I have.
Luke Bryan with Brent earlier. It seems both of you are neither fans of him.
Nah, not at all. His music, it's
really
better
interesting.
than mine.
The people you meet.
His
it's
music
like
is better than mine. I'm jealous.
That makes sense. That makes sense
Yeah.
that he would be one of your rivals then.
Okay.
I guess let's just start the show then. Chemical, do you want
Right.
to spin
So-
the wheel?
How the
Oh
hell
yeah,
was I
absolutely.
supposed
I
to
will
write a
spin the
song
wheel.
like Tony
I'm just
Beer?
letting you know if you had any other topics you want to throw in here. The DPRK 3000 has only been programmed for our topic, so if you need to interject your own at any moment, feel free.
Please at any moment interrupt us with any agenda you're trying
Please,
to pass.
Ethan
I've got a
actually
couple.
prefers to be talked to that way. If you just interrupt everything he's trying to say, it makes him feel comfortable. He asks to be treated like that.
It
not
brings
me.
me down kind of down a peg. I like to be treated like dirt so I can move to a higher level.
It's
That's
like
okay.
self-deprecating humor isn't enough for him. He needs other people to treat him bad as well.
My ex-wife was
Okay.
like that. I get it.
So, without further ado, the wheel's gonna be spun. And this is Ethan's one. I tuned out overnight, and I'm sure that this episode is going to be coming out a little later, so it might be a tad bit outdated too. But the opinions still need to get out there. It's the State of the Union. This is on
Right.
Ethan's topic.
The State of the Union just happened.
What's the best one?
Of all the State of the Unions?
No. What's the best state? in the
Oh,
union?
yeah,
Oh,
Trump
okay.
Trump came out and he said Arkansas, and everyone was confused.
They lost their fucking mind.
They were like, really? Arkansas
always
is
said
not
Mississippi was
bad,
better.
but you didn't pick like California. I understand that your conservative mindset might not appreciate that, but you didn't pick Texas either.
Oh, I'm
You
actually
didn't-
not allowed to talk politics, but I'm going to do that extensively today. Country singers, we're not allowed to talk politics.
Oh yeah, that's a rule.
Did you see what happened to the Dixie Chicks?
Yeah, I fell asleep watching them
They
once,
said
and
something
I woke
like
up
we-
and I said a word I shouldn't say here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they said something nasty about George Bush or something, and the next thing you know, they have a highly successful career 10 years later.
And you don't want that. You don't want to be. You don't want to be
so-
one of those famous country artists, right?
He just wants to. He's
Yeah.
only Nashville. He doesn't.
Yeah,
he
just
doesn't-
Nashville.
What's more than that? North Carolina.
There's
I
nothing
don't
bigger
think
than
so.
Nashville.
tried it.
Nashville's an
Doesn't work.
idea. Nashville's an identity.
Hippies will steal your girlfriend.
So the State of the Union happened. It's been a year since President Trump
Woo!
took office.
Really?
Yeah, and he.
That's where people tune out. That's where everyone drops it.
Here's
right
what I
there.
like. Here's what I like about before I get into that. What do you think about President Trump, Wheatley?
I told you I'm not allowed to talk politics.
Okay. So this will be a fun.
If you
we'll
could
just pretend
describe,
you're
if you
just
could
gonna sit
describe
here.
Donald Trump in a country folk
The
lyric
businessman, not
about
the
your
president.
wife, which what would it be written like?
If I wait one word.
No,
or
like if you
a
could do
whole
like
line?
a phrase in a verse, like a country themed phrase in a verse, but like it replace his name with like your wife or lover or something like that, and then express your feelings that way.
I would use the word succulent over and over.
Okay.
So I guess that means you're a fan of the president. I guess.
Listen, my lyrics are open to interpretation.
Oh, okay. Well, that's how I'm going to interpret it.
That's your opinion, not mine.
So what I liked about the State of the Union is the speech wasn't actually that bad as far as
No,
Trump
I listened to a
normally
few
gets.
parts
was
of it,
relatively-
and yeah, it actually wasn't that bad. The parts that
Yeah,
we were hearing,
But
wasn't
somebody,
really...
I was watching like the Washington Post like made an article or something where they were like, we give this speech an 8.6 out of 10 or something, and I was just like, first of all, why did we rate a speech? Second of all, I just think it's odd that whenever Trump does do something,
we have to be criticizing it.
Like he's just like when he's presidential, it's just like everyone's just like, oh wow, like he's doing really well. But I'm like, first of all, you guys did not sign up for him to be presidential. That was not the Donald Trump you guys went for. This should not be something you look for. But besides that, it's just a weird thing that everyone's just like making a big deal when he does something
Cover your ears,
right.
DPRK 3000, because I feel like a lot of his speech was just talking about North Korea. It's not hard to sound good when you're talking about North Korea. I think pretty much everyone wants the same outcome with that, you know?
Didn't they have like a North Korean fellow there holding up like crutches over his
Yeah,
head
they
or
had
something?
Kim Jong-un himself there, and
I believe, yeah, they had an.
That was
that was
him?
him right there. He lost a lot of weight.
Oh my god.
No, just kidding. There was a very brave North Korean soul, which sounds weird to say, who escaped and on crutches crawled his way through
I don't
China.
know. Now that you say that was Kim Jong Un, that was him. I don't joke or not. I don't think I can trust him anymore.
Who, Kim Jong Un? Did you trust him before?
Wait, prior to that, you did trust him?
He's like Dennis Rodman.
Listen, I don't trust anyone on crutches.
That's too many legs.
Yeah, exactly. You think us two-legged people can keep up with that?
It's too much work.
I've tried it also, and it just doesn't work. When I have them under my arms and I'm using my 2 feet to walk also, like, it just doesn't
I know.
work.
I was working fine for a minute,
I can't
and then
get
I
any
came
extra
to stairs,
speed.
and I was like, what is this madness? I cannot navigate this path.
Listen, if you learn how to crutch properly, you can go about 150 miles per hour. I've seen
I remember one time
I've
I
seen
was
it.
watching the
Dolly Parton did that. I was there.
I was watching the Special Olympics, and it was the wheelchairs versus the crutches, and I was like, you got a crutch. It's unfair, you know? You're going too fast. You hit 80 miles per
What's so
hour on that
special
crutch.
about it
No
anyway?
human.
Honestly, nothing.
Do you think if I enter like a wheelchair racing league, do you think they'll accept my like sports car as a wheelchair?
There's a chair.
Well, there's multiple.
It's got wheels.
It does also have
Yes,
wheels,
it has
so
a
I
lot
would
of
say
chairs.
that
It's a
is
lot
about
heavier.
that.
I think it should qualify because
Does-
it's going slower.
Here's my question: if it's like one of those ones that's like electronic compared to the like ones that you push with your arms.
Yeah, it's actually an arm pushed sports car. It's like the Flintstones, if you've ever seen that, where they have the cutout in the bottom and they have to run the whole time.
Oh,
It's really counterintuitive
Yeah, you know-
for a wheelchair ways.
I didn't really find that show that compelling anyway. Like they got the running car things. Like that's pretty cool. But dinosaurs aren't even real anyway. I didn't like that they had dinosaurs. That was against God.
I know. If there was an ark, how come there wasn't a Tyrannosaurus Rex on it? You know?
Well, actually, I've got a theory.
Oh,
on
I'd love
that,
to hear it.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. That stands for Tyrant Lizard King.
I don't know where King
Now
came
think
from.
about that.
But...
King. There is. No, Rex. Rex is king. Rex is
Oh,
king.
I'm sorry.
Now you get that. You get God. God is king. There can't be two kings. God caused the flood to kill all the T-Rexes. Why do you think we don't have any Tyrannosaurus Rexes anymore? You think any sort of scientist telling you it's a meteorite or something is right? It's a goddamn scientist. You can't trust him with anything.
If you could give your most non-political view of the State of the Union, what would you say?
Well, I don't like Congress. There are way too many people there. It's too crowded of a room. When I'm playing to a stadium of a couple 100,000 people or whatever, I think to myself, damn, at least I'm not in Congress.
I could be voting on a bill.
Exactly. And my biggest problem with it is that Roy Moore did not ride his horse to the State of the Union like he did to the polls.
Well, that seems he's not actually an elected official. I don't know if you.
Oh, he contested that.
Oh, okay.
So that means that he's allowed to go there and pretend he's an elected official until
He's acting.
Until he's declared
acting.
not one. Yeah, exactly.
Learn up on your politics, you freaking filibuster. Okay, so what is your next point? Because I feel like you're the only person here to actually listen through a whole lot of it.
Well, I don't want to get political, but let's talk about guns.
Okay. What do you want to talk about them? Do you like them? Do they taste good?
Please go ahead.
Well, not to get political or anything, but government want to take away guns or whatever. That's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
a
we
thing.
don't-
I thought when they had Trump as president, that was no longer an issue, or is that still an issue?
I don't want to talk about politics.
Okay, so you don't want
I don't know
to
if
get
it's an issue or
political,
not.
but if Trump,
No.
how did he?
But I don't know, man. State governments and stuff, they still trying to take that away. Chuck Schumer or whatever, not to get political, but he's going to take away all your goddamn AK-47s.
Now, I see you're reaching for a knife, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Not to get political or anything.
Well, we should get rid of knives.
But how do you feel
okay.
about the FEMA death camps?
They have death camps for females.
Oh, do they?
Is that what you told me?
No, the FEMA death camps.
Oh. FEMA. Yeah, that's all right as long as they get the right people. Now, guns though. Okay, so I have a very non-political reason why we still need those, okay? So,
Okay.
I don't get trash pickup in my house. There's no trash pickup. I live way far out there.
It's really expensive and time consuming to go to the nearest public waste facility.
I've been saying that since I was born. Now, we don't get trash pickup.
His first words were, "It's really expensive and time consuming to go to the nearest public waste facility." Those were
Mom
your
and
first
Dad
words.
looked real confused.
Well, they just knew their son was going to be a genius after they heard that.
I imagine they thought that for a little bit.
They were like, "Oh my God, he's already creating socio-political ideas."
Here's the thing. Okay, I don't get trash pickup. Most of my trash, it's like paper and stuff. I can burn that stuff. I can warm up my house. I live in a little log cabin out in the middle of the Tennessee wilderness, close to the border of Kentucky. I only commute down to Nashville when I got to.
What do you think of Oklahoma? Now that
Now that you're out here
now
in
that you've had to
Sawyer,
be here.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Now, where's that again?
Where you are currently. What do you think of the location you're in currently?
I thought we were in the sky.
You were for a bit. See, that was an airplane you were in.
I thought we were in the big
It
cloud
landed.
city in Star Wars.
No, that is a thing that exists in
Who
media.
told him about Star Wars?
I'm also a little alarmed that you know about Star Wars because that seems like the exact situation going on currently.
I feel like the experiment's going wrong.
Hold on a second.
He's becoming self-aware.
Listen. Luke Skywalker, he was a farm boy. He was a moisture farmer who went off and became a hero in a war. There is no more country story than Star Wars.
All right, I can't argue with that,
Yeah.
actually.
Prove my point.
Oh.
But anyway, most of my trash I can burn. I can't burn cans. Like metal, aluminum
It's
cans, beer
impossible.
cans. Nah, they don't burn. They don't melt
You
or
could
anything.
sell them.
That's true. You can get 5 cents for every can you turn in.
Yeah, but
At least out here in Sawyer, Oklahoma.
Oh, I might have to. Well, I'm not. I'm gonna ignore that because that destroys my point. Now, to get rid of my cans, I do what any good, God-loving Christian can. Not gonna say conservative man does with his cans. I take him out to the range and I shoot the shit out of them. I use them for target practice. But now, the government want to come in and take my cans away, or take my guns away. What the hell am I going to do with all my cans? That's what I've been saying.
I'm gonna be without my cans to shoot. Who am I gonna shoot? It could be people.
Well,
You don't know.
that's what we're trying to prevent. Now, here's the thing.
Don't take my
Wait, if
cans
they take
away.
the guns away, though, aren't we not worried about you shooting people?
No, the issue is cans.
Yeah, the
I'm
issue
sorry.
is different.
I got
Well-
a little lost, but now I see we were on Star Wars and that tripped me up, but now it makes much
Yeah.
more sense.
Now,
Right.
here's the thing.
Barack Obama was trying to take our cans away.
He got damn near close.
Thank
Now-
God those 4 years are over.
Yeah, all 4 of them. Now,
4 years in hell, if you ask me.
there was this one time, ran out of ammo. I didn't have anything more to load up with my shotguns and my rifles and all. And guess what happened? Cans started filling up in my house. I just had cans everywhere. Cans were overpowering me.
tetanus.
And thank God the UPS man brought me that ammo that I bought online without any sort of background check, age check, any sort of simple security measures. Thank God he brought me that ammunition, and I was able to shoot my way out of my house.
I just imagine you under like 5 feet of cans, and like you have your arm out, and you just get like a handful of bullets, and you put them in your shotgun, and you shoot up to get the cans out of your way.
War is hell. That's
okay.
all.
Did you have any other things to comment on the State of the Union?
No,
Nah,
well, he doesn't want to get political.
Yeah, I don't want to get political.
Okay.
So
I'm
Right.
just
We
gonna
don't
get
want to
extremely
get into
political.
that if we don't have to.
Yeah, we'll avoid that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Should I spin a wheel?
Yeah, spin the wheel.
It's been fun.
Ah!
All right. This
got it.
this
Take a
is my topic. It's called "Where Did Mummies Come From?" Ethan, Can you name a mummy movie?
The Mummy.
You idiot.
Get the fuck out of my office. Can you name a good mummy movie?
The Mummy's Curse.
Yeah.
1930
right.
whatever.
What's
Can
the
you
one
name
with Dwayne The Rock? No, that is The Mummy. The Mummy 2.
Name me a good book on the mummy.
The
Magic
Percy
School Bus.
Jackson series that was after, I believe that was only a television show.
You guys are
that was
destroying
a
my
book.
point here.
There was probably a Goosebumps novel on it.
Do you... Shut up. Name a good mummy video game.
Does that even exist?
I
I
know.
feel like
That's what the response I was hoping to get. Now,
for all of those.
right. My point is that I can't, aside from those things, I don't see mummies frequently appearing in pop culture. I understand zombies have been a thing, but then who was the first person to think of and thought, well, in Egypt they wrap them up, so that must be different. They're mummified. We're gonna call them mummies, and everyone's gonna be scared about this new specific thing. I don't understand where the mummies came from.
Democrats.
Yeah, that seems like something that the
Not to get political or
mainstream
anything.
media would make up. Yeah, not to get political.
Yeah. I don't want to
But
get
that seems-
political, but as long as I say conservative things, I'm okay.
The
I won't
Barack
get shot.
Obama administration colluded with CNN to make up mummies.
No, they colluded with the mummies themselves.
Ah.
Oh, wait, hold on. I was just talking about in pop culture, mass media.
Oh.
Are you telling me that people can actually go out and associate with mummified people?
Oh, of course. You ever been to Egypt?
I have not.
Cannot say I have.
Yeah.
I heard that
Well-
Pizza Hut.
On my
I'm
unfortunately
doing that now.
on my unfortunately unsuccessful world tour, we made a stop in Egypt. And we went out to the tomb of the pharaoh.
I thought you were just in Nashville. I thought you didn't do shows outside of Nashville.
See, I tried, and that's why I'm just Nashville's biggest star.
Oh.
Nowhere else.
Is that why you don't have that finger?
Yeah, I can't play guitar anymore. I have to have someone do it for me. After that mummy bit it off.
I lost my vocal cords in a freak UFO abduction. I need someone to sing for me too.
That's what happened to Willie Nelson.
Yeah, no, I actually think I
Who's
saw
that?
on
What
PBS
happened
once.
to Willie Nelson?
Actually, wait, no, I'm gonna mix up. John Prine. That happened to John Prine.
Oh,
Anyways,
You
how
gotta
was-
learn
how
you
was
can't say it.
Egypt?
Well, Egypt. Scary. You ever been to Egypt before?
No, we just went over.
it's
that.
all
We
full
have
of
not.
mummies.
Exactly. No, I go to the tomb of the unknown pharaoh, or whatever the hell it's called. I go there, the great
I
pyramids.
found that
or
on
whatever.
Google Maps verbatim.
Yeah, I can't look all this stuff up on the spot. That's just crazy talking. Now, go there, and guess what? You go into a gift shop out in the desert. The gift shop's actually underneath the Sphinx. They call it the Sphinx store, and you go down there.
Clever name, very clever name.
Only English-speaking
brought
people
to you
get
by
it.
the genius. Right, it's actually really confusing for people in Egypt.
It was actually just an accident, honestly. But you go in there, all the employees, they mummies, all of them.
And one of them bit your finger off.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I was trying to steal a lot of stuff from the store.
That makes sense. You do seem like somebody who would go to another country and do that.
I mean, I was just trying to go and, like... The tour lost a lot of money, and I was trying to protect myself from the losses by stealing Egyptian merchandise and reselling.
What?
I got the merchandise,
though.
though.
So you found out there that's where mummies came from, or?
That's what we were talking about?
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
we're talking about where did mummies come
it's
from.
interesting to have somebody who has experienced mummies because as you know, we've never been to Egypt.
Right, I wasn't expecting your unique perspective on this. It's good because as you know from previous experience with the show, absolutely no research gets taken. I could have absolutely done due diligence and created a fairly interesting timeline
Then we wouldn't have to ask
of mummies
this question
in
if we
pop
did
culture.
research.
But instead, I just throw it out there and expect maybe someone's actually seen a mummy, and we can talk to them about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. Well, I did see several mummies. Mummies everywhere, actually. They were walking around there in the gift shop, all in their green shirts and their khaki pants.
Is that what mummies wear? Green shirts and khakis?
Do you trust a man in khakis?
Not
I don't
since-
trust this man sitting
not-
next to me.
not
He's wearing
since the
khakis.
State
So
Farm
far,
commercial.
Yeah.
so far, what we've learned from both guests today is never trust a man in crutches and never trust a man wearing khakis.
Actually, that was the same
I wonder
guest.
what
Same
other
guest has said
personal
both
opi-
those things.
Y'all had another guest?
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
he sent you in.
Oh, sorry. Short-term memory loss.
Oh, okay. Is that?
As a result of all the drinking.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are heavily intoxicated right now.
I always am. I'm actually, that's going to be the basis of my next, my upcoming EP. It's going to be called Drinking and Thinking.
That'll be
I've
good.
got a lot I'm thinking about.
That'll be good.
Got
Any
a lot.
political issues?
Song titles called "Thinking About
yes.
Drinking."
No, there is a song on there. It's named after a song called Drinking and Thinking. Now, there is a song on there that, yes, it deals with political issues. It's called Angry, Stupid, and Ready to Vote.
It sounds like all of Nashville.
You know, I have to write about what I know.
And it sounds like you do know a lot about that. So,
It's a very personal story.
Yeah.
well, that's really. So, are mummies as scary as films have made them out to be, or
I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
mummies?
Mummies,
See,
yes.
that's right. The thing you saw in real life.
The actual
You know,
real life monsters that ripped your finger off. That's what we're on right now.
You know, when I saw those, I think I was pretty intoxicated.
I believe that. Yeah, no.
I might not. They might not have even bit my finger off. I think I just I think it got jammed in a doorway or something.
They might not have even been mummies. They might have just been. I mean, who knows? Gift shop clerks that were working in a gift shop in Egypt.
No gift shop clerk wearing khakis.
Okay, it's true. That is. From what I've seen from movies and TV, that mummies are specifically khaki-wearing monsters.
Yeah.
I remember that Scooby-Doo episode where they saw that guy wearing a green shirt and khakis and decided to rip his face off.
It's a shame they had to cancel the series after that.
It's too violent. You know,
Scooby
I
was
thought there would have been a lot
devastated.
more. I thought there would have been a lot more agreement from the room when they were just like, "Yeah, where did mummies come from? Why did people think of mummies and create this mass like thing that everyone knows about and it's supposed to be a scary monster? Where did that come from?" But instead, you just named the Mummy. Have you ever seen those movies?
No.
I bet you haven't.
No,
Right.
I'm not.
Name a mummy movie you've actually seen. Name a mummy book you've actually
Spy
read.
Kids.
The answer for most people is none.
National Treasure.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's not a mummy movie.
The fuck it isn't.
Yeah, Night at the Museum.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That's only a thing though
Casablanca.
because mummies were like everyone was scared of mummies before.
The airplane scene with the mummy. I remember that.
Yeah, you know, you got Audrey Hepburn saying goodbye to that mummy. It's an amazing scene.
Well, I guess that's all we really need to know about mummies. Are we ready to move on to another topic?
New top.
Right. There's only one more, unless Whiskey Sunrise or whatever his name is here wants to
Wheatley
put another
Fields.
topic.
This is the biggest star in Nashville.
I'm
sir.
Nashville's
I'm
biggest
sorry,
star.
I'm not up to date. I'm not up to date on my Nashville terms.
You cretin. You goddamn swine.
Wheatley, do you want to interrupt this rude man and say anything, or should I continue?
All I
with
can
my
say
life?
is I don't get why he's calling you a swine. It sounds like he's trying to insult you. Where I'm from, swine are the hardest working animals we got. We use swines to pull the plows, to plow the fields. We use swines to make baby, and they make a pretty good beefsteak, too.
Swine
Yeah, they're great cooks.
make beef?
No,
Yeah.
they're great cooks. Have
They're
you ever
great.
had like a real
Yeah.
Have you ever had a pig cook for you?
It's like Ratatouille,
Well,
but
Ratatouille.
country.
also
I
hate
heard that
spiders.
Ratatouille did take away some of the movie they were going to make about a pig chef, and it was really unfortunate that Pixar did that. Or what? At the time, it was Pixar.
Right, yeah. At first, it was Pig Farm starring Wheatley. He
I have a movie
he meets
deal.
he meets a pig that cooks him stew every night, and it was a small independent film that was debuting in a box office. But then Pixar bought out the idea, and they opened up the same film on the opening night and sold him out. Everyone went to see Ratatouille, but no one went to see Porkatoodle. Porkatoodle was a box office flop. You lost a lot of money.
Yeah,
You probably should have debuted in other cities aside from Nashville, though. That might be on you.
Nashville's great for music and all, not great for movies. I lost
Yeah,
a
they
lot
don't
of
they
money
don't
on
say
that.
Nashville's the movie capital of the world.
I've never heard that.
No. That's going to change pretty soon, though.
That's going on the sheet of phrases I've never heard in my life. Nashville is the movie capital of the world. Right next to Dunkin' Donuts is the world's largest meat provider. Like I just don't see it happening.
All right.
I don't know, maybe if there's maple bacon donuts, keep up.
Well, Wheatley,
They have sandwiches.
do you have any topics that you want to talk about before we move into our last topic, or?
Nah, going to your last topic, I think I'm good. I think I've covered what I came here to say.
All right.
What I planned to come here to say.
What did you plan to come here to say? Because so far it's just been loose phrases on
That
gun
we need
rights
guns
and-
to get rid of cans. That's what I came here to say. Also, I can't recycle them. We do have recycling near me, but recycling's for hippies.
As
Wheatley
far as
2020.
what I've understood is you are not a fan of hippies.
Oh goddamn no! I tell you what happened with hippies.
No, you did not. That's why I just asked about why you weren't a fan of hippies.
Well, so like I said, I moved to North Carolina for a while to the beach,
Yeah.
and my wife ran off with this hippie surfer dude. Yeah, and here's the thing I don't get about that. Why do hippies think that they have a right to come to this country? Why aren't we securing our borders against hippies? That's the thing I want to know. Not to get political or anything.
Well, that's a surfing. It's hard to block off the ocean, Wheatley.
That-
They're just born like that.
Are they surfing
Really.
over from Europe?
Yeah, they are. They catch
where all
a
hippies come from.
gnarly wave, and they come all the way from Europe.
They wrecked the
North-
Titanic like that.
There's some righteous dude in like Zurich, Switzerland, who just caught the wrong wave and ended up in Miami and was like, "Bro, what's going on over here? You guys got hamburgers? What?"
Zurich is like such a great coastal city.
He
Yeah, that's
is
why.
an enthusiast.
Yeah. Well,
Let's get the final topic.
hopefully we can get your agenda. Maybe this podcast will help people become more aware of the gun, and maybe this will change the government, state governments.
He wants to wall him off, though.
Wait, wants to. That's a separate issue. Hippies. I feel
hippies.
like
It's
in
called
the
New
guns.
California.
Yeah.
And what they're gonna
And that's
do
where all
is
the
they're
hippies are
gonna
gonna
give them
go.
their own state, and they're just gonna build a wall.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
spin that
final
wheel.
topic.
All right. Grammys.
So the Grammys.
Did you hear that?
Now this is
Did you hear that?
interesting.
Sounds like someone said Grammys in a really annoying voice.
This is really interesting because we have another musician here, which is good because I was excited to talk about this with Brent, but since we don't have
he was
him,
snubbed.
yeah.
But
Wheatley, what do you think about this year's Grammys and the Grammys in general?
Oh, I was snubbed also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, yes, you weren't up there, so.
No, I was
it
nominated.
seems like every
That's not- I
musician
don't
in the
think that's-
Nashville area has been snubbed.
I'm not sure about that.
I was nominated for the category Best Shaped Artist. If you look at me,
Shaved?
shaped.
Oh,
with a P.
shaped.
Slap a trap
Best
vote on
shaved
that
artist.
ass.
Man, that doesn't exist. Don't be ridiculous.
So what shape are you?
Well, I mean, just look at me. All muscular, lean, and toned.
You
I'm
are
the
all
best
those things.
shaped. Yes, I should have been the best shaped artist.
Nashville?
I guess they. Well, yeah. Well,
Do you think
obviously,
you had a
Nashville,
leg up
Nashville's
against Brad
biggest star.
Paisley?
You're the biggest star as far as not actually fame, but literally you are the biggest. You are quite swole.
Yes, and tall.
Yes,
But for some reason, they thought that they could give that award to Ariana Grande or someone like that. One of them goddamn Hollywood hippies.
That's another hippie taking your
Yes.
award. Well, surely you had to
That
find
award should have
something
gone
that
to
was
Charles
good
Manson.
out of the Grammys this year. We had the rap category.
The only
this
thing I
year
heard
was very
I-
good.
What's that?
I just read
Rap?
I just watched a little bit of the Melon, the Anthony Fantano review, and all I saw was that Bruno Mars won like
Bruno Mars
3
did.
awards
What
for
do you
like
think about Bruno
greatest
Mars?
album of all time, and I'm like, I didn't even know he came out with an album.
Wait, were you asking me that?
Well, yeah. Well, Bruno Mars, he actually did put out a decent album, but it was probably the worst of the nominees, but it was the safest pick, so that's kind of what people were upset about the Grammys. What do you think about Bruno Mars? Do you think...
Least favorite planet.
Okay.
They don't take away your guns and Bruno Mars.
They sure don't. I hear that
Well, they still got
Bruno
tin
Mars
cans
needs
up in
mummies,
Bruno
is what I've
Mars.
heard.
I've heard that before. Oh, that's a good That's a good mummy movie.
That one, yeah, that's true. Mars needs mummies.
Yeah. No, Bruno Mars.
Bruno
needs
Mars needs mummies.
You don't abbreviate the planet's name.
You don't just call it like Mister. You got to address it properly through the full name. Now, which Greek god is Bruno Mars named after?
Bruno Mars is named after a Roman god.
And what is he? What is Bruno Mars the god of?
War.
Yeah,
Yeah,
war.
Mars.
I mean, practically people wanted to start a war when
Yeah.
it happened, so it makes
Exactly.
sense. I mean, but yeah, no, he kind of swept all the categories. What about the performances? They had Kendrick Lamar, Dave Chappelle, and U2 performed.
Dave
Oh yeah,
Chappelle's
this is
on
why I
YouTube?
told everyone to shut
Yes,
earlier.
it's on
right,
YouTube.
because of this.
Good.
Also,
Kendrick Lamar was
are you
cool
gonna
because he like
watch
shot a
it?
bunch of
Is
people
that
or something.
what I get from that?
I don't know.
What?
The computer.
Oh, okay. So did you watch it on television at all, or?
Oh yeah, we got the antenna at home.
Oh, okay.
We watched some.
And so you got a sure.
Yeah, it's like a tin can with a string you attach to like the cable box and
the cans that he
like,
couldn't shoot, he
North
formed a
Carolina.
television set with.
That's the second thing cans are good for. For home
making
entertainment.
good DIY television.
It gets to the point though where you have too many TVs.
Yeah, my house was full of TVs. That's why we need guns.
That's the saddest story I've heard in a while.
Well, have you ever been in
I was
prior to this
knee-deep in
year?
TVs.
How long of a music career have you had?
Well,
3
months.
Oh, okay. Not very long.
Back when you were in Egypt.
That's
2
actually
months ago.
really impressive that you have become Nashville's biggest star in only 3 months.
Well, my first song was a smash hit.
Well, what song was that?
It was, you see, I tried to cash in on the holiday success, the holiday season, and I was successful. I got my first song was called Christmas Sucks, Let's Get Drunk.
Okay. And so that seems like it was anti-holiday though, and that played well.
Well, I think a lot of people agreed with that sentiment. They were like, hey, Christmas sucks, so let's just all drink a lot of alcohol and maybe snort some cocaine.
That makes
or
sense.
Get high with your uncle or something.
That makes sense in Nashville. How did that do outside of, I guess, non-domestically in Nashville?
I don't think it...
Non-domestically.
Well, you see, like I said, we did a world tour, and they don't really celebrate Christmas in Egypt.
Is that the issue? Now, as far as I'm aware, you did a world tour, but you were only successful in Nashville. So you didn't think that was maybe a bad idea to go to places where people may have never heard of you?
You can blame that on Brent. He's my manager. He booked it all.
I will.
He said, listen, Wheatley, you're a really good musician. You're just here all the time, and I think you need to get out. So we're gonna send you to Egypt, buddy.
I shouldn't have trusted that bastard. Yeah.
Much like now, he was like, please, come to Sawyer, Oklahoma. I have these guys that we're going to do the show together. It's going to be great. And then he leaves and presumably is already on a flight back right now. Meanwhile, you're stuck in Sawyer, Oklahoma. And I'll tell you what here, Wheatley. We gave him a return ticket. Did Brent give you a return ticket?
How'd I get here in the first place?
I don't know.
Do you know how GPSs work?
What?
What about maps?
Wheatley, I have some frightening news for you.
Towns.
What I want you to do, I want you to go on your phone and I want you to click on Google Maps. Now
I see you pulling out a can with a string in it.
And oh my
Alexa.
God, it is projecting a map of the world.
Alexa.
That's not... Is that who has the other can? Is it a woman named Alexa? That's my only assumption. You don't believe that you have an Alexa Echo Dot in your tin can.
Oh, of course I do. Here, look inside, right here.
Oh my God,
It's more convenient for carrying it.
Well,
Yep.
Needless to say, I'm impressed. So is that it? That it on the Grammys?
Well, I
don't
think
know
Del
much about
Suggs
it.
was snubbed also.
I believe you were correct there.
He was snubbed back in 1988, and he is snubbed today.
Did he make music this year?
Well, that doesn't matter.
I think that might be part of the
If it's a
issue.
good song, it should get nominated.
I guess I can't argue with that. Well,
And winning for the 70th year in a row.
Del Suggs. I've been waiting to hear that
It's
for
the
70
Macarena.
years.
Wheatley, I guess that's about all the topics we have for you. Unfortunately, Brent left, so I guess I'm gonna have to thank you for coming out. Wheatley, do you have anything that you would like to plug?
I would like to plug my upcoming EP. It's not quite ready yet. We're working on it. It's going to be called, the working title is Drinking and Thinking. We're going to think about a lot of stuff in this album. We're going to think about politics. We're going to think about hippie. I'm not going to get political, though. We're going to think about hippies. We're going to think about drinking. And we're going to forget a lot of stuff by the time we're done with it.
That sounds great. And then Chemical, I guess, do we have anything to plug?
I'm not sure, again, because these recordings are going to be early. I'm not sure what exactly has been released yet. Check the Sub-Exiled show out on Spotify now. That I didn't have that as of the last recording we did. Hypnotic TV, potentially. If that's still going, I'm kind of messing around with that. If that's not out, and I just said it because I realized I couldn't do it, ignore what I just said. Maybe it comes back later. Who knows? Just keep viewing stuff. Just keep listening. Just give me money.
And then for me, I work with Isaiah on Halo Bub Buddies Season 2. That's coming out. I might be doing stand-up again soon, and then more stuff, more live action
yeah, I'm going to be
videos
doing stand-up too,
will be
probably in
coming
the
out
next week or
for
two.
FWSX,
Just keep an eye out.
Just keep an eye out, and looks like someone else is at the door, and it looks like Brent has come back into the room.
Thank God. Oh, shit. Oh, my God, I missed my my McDonald's. They messed up my order.
Oh, well, Wheatley,
They gave me nothing.
Hey, what? Did you bring me some McNuggets? Yeah, man. Get what you asked for.
I hope. Can we get like a secretly recorded fight? In the
Brent,
background?
you missed the rest of the podcast, but I'm going to allow you to, if you want to plug something real quick.
You don't deserve it, but we'll allow it.
You haven't earned it. We're not mad. We're disappointed, but
We're not paying you, but if you want to promote something.
Okay. I'm gonna promote. I've got an EP I released recently. It's called MAD, and I'm gonna be playing some shows soon, like doing some stuff. I'm going to be Just some stuff around the Shenandoah Valley right now. So look for me on my website, BrentFunkhousermusic.com, or on Facebook, which just look up my name and you'll find it. He sucks.
Thank you, Wheatley. That's Wheatley and Brent Funkhouser, everybody.
He's not Nashville's biggest star.
Wait, who said that?
Brent, can I just really quickly before we leave, can I just quickly ask you, do you really like Wheatley, or do you just keep sending him on these tours you know he's going to be unsuccessful in, just to give you more time to record by yourself?
He's a pain in the ass, but he makes me a lot of money.
Is that now?
Really? Those shows in Egypt?
Listen, the last song, Christmas Sucks, Let's Get Drunk, that made $1 whole on streaming. That's hard money to make on there.
That is true. That's pretty big for 2018. That's sales have gone down a lot, so that you're doing pretty well. Mm-hmm. Wow. So things are. And then how much of a manager do you take from that?
20%.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty fair. Of course, that's after I subtract like 70% from him also for business fees.
So he gets about 10% of said dollar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought a home.
Well, that's after tax, of course.
I assume it's a House of Lincoln Logs. I can't imagine it's much more.
Nope, I get to write it off my taxes. Government's paying for it.
Do you pay for taxes?
Hmm?
Do you pay taxes, Wheatley?
What's that?
Okay. Well, thank you guys. We're going to play I Think That's What You Said by Brent Funkhouser to let us out. And this has been...
I think that's what you said.
I Think That's What You Said.
Right.
Hey.
It's been great, fellas. I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate all the support. We're gonna lead out with this. Goodbye, Sawyer, Oklahoma.
Can I say one more thing before we turn off?
Please.
Brett, Ethan, Chemical, Computer.
That's Zach. The DPRK 3000.
DPRK. Oh, sorry. Is that the DPRK 3000's name? Zach. Gotcha.
No.
Okay. Well, all of y'all, I'd like to say, you know what? As far as our careers go, things are looking up.
That's a good sentiment. We have already done that song though, Wheatley.
Oh Jesus! I was gonna be like, Ethan, what are you doing? That would have been perfect.
So,
but then you said that, and I was like, damn.
I think what he meant to say was, I think that's what you said.
What did I think you said?
Brent Funkhouser, the Mad MAD EP. Get it on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, I assume, YouTube, maybe SoundCloud. Betamax. Thank you.
One of the only artists below the age of 30 to have VHS copies out.
Thank you, Internet, and thank you, Oklahoma. All right, that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Why does it feel like I am falling? Every day I miss you calling. Where in the world could you be by now? I've lost my baby out in the street. Your car is missing. Did you think I just wasn't listening? 'Cause it's real clear I see your point by now. Please come home, baby. You said I'm not the type you tie down. I'm not the type you win. More like a phantom pen or a runaway train. I think that's what you said. Turn on the porch light and make the sheets. Call a few times, but you don't pick up. Please just hear me Wish that we could have stopped the schism, engage in some form of altruism. Ask for forgiveness, I had to beg you from the floor. If you just hear me. You said I'm not the type you tie down. I'm not the type you win. But damned if I didn't try. I think that's what you said. You said I'm not the type you tie down.